Hi there everybody. On today's video I'm going to be changing the oil and the oil filter on this BMW X1 2011. This is a 2.3 X-Drive diesel, and I'm going to start by removing this cover. Just opening the oil filter cap there, and I'm gonna pull the dipstick as well. Now the oil filter housing is just there, so I'm using one of these that's the size number written on it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of paper in there, and then we're gonna get underneath and drain the oil. Okay, looking at the car from underneath, we have that little opening there. If we get that open with a screwdriver, the sun plug is in there. There's a 17mm. Make sure you have an oil pan underneath, and remember that if the car's been running, like this has been running quite a lot, the oil will be quite hot, so be careful not to burn yourself. So while that drains, we can just remove the filter. And also we can remove the O-ring that's around it. Now in the set, so that's the part number of the filter that I'm using, OX361 /4D. You will have a new O-ring and a new copper washer. So the new copper washer is for the sun plug bolt. That goes in there, and a little bit of grease around this O-ring just to help it slide in a little bit easier, that's all. Okay, that's the filter there. Now it's got a little guide here. So what I'm gonna do is just apply a little bit of grease on that. But once the oil has drained, we'll refit the sun plug, and then I'm gonna fit the filter inside the housing and make sure that it's in the correct hole, and then we can put the cover on and screw it on. So that's still dripping, so I'm gonna let it drip for another 5 minutes or so. Now I'm gonna fit the sun plug back in. Just cleaning the area with a bit of brake and clutch fluid cleaner. Now I'm gonna lower the car and we can fit the oil and the oil filter. Okay, now we can refit the filter. So that's our new filter, and when it's in the right place, it will drop in, and you can then push it a little bit, and you shouldn't be able to turn it anymore. So to fit the cover, you need to push it down a little bit so it goes into the filter, and then you can start screwing it in by hand. and as it goes in you will feel if it's in the right place or not. Once you know it's in the right place, you can just tighten it a little bit with the ratchet. And that's it. We can then remove the tool. Now when I was taking off the filter, I had to tap this in because the housing there was of the filter was very hot, and it was slightly enlarged, which meant I couldn't quite fit in this by hand, so I had to tap it in a little bit. But as you can see, now that it's cooled down, it came out fairly easily. Now on top of that filter housing there cover, it states at 25 Newton meters. If you have a torque wrench, you can tighten it to that much. It isn't a lot of force at all. So now we can top up some oil. Okay, so I'm using 5W30. So we have the dipstick here where we can check our levels as we put the oil. So far I put 4 liters in there. Now in the dipstick, that's the minimum there and that's the maximum. Between the minimum and the maximum is approximately 1 liter. Now with 4 liters I'm up to there. I will top up another liter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna top up about 1 liter. That liter should bring my oil quantities just above the max possibly, and I will then run the engine and switch it off, let it settle for 5 minutes or so and see where this is at. If it's somewhere there, then I will need another 200 mil or so to be in the max.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Right. But I'll be in charge of the pallet inside. Outside, you please.
Me outside?
Yeah.
Why?
That car's big.
You should do it.
No. I think the proper exercise will be.
Proper what?
Exercise.
You, innit?
Well,
You want to do.